guess Matt's not coming.
Well, thank you for taking care of that, Eric. I'm sorry.
We volunteered for you for it when you were at the meeting. Good evening and welcome to the September 12th meeting of the Beavercreek Park Recreation and Culture Board. I hereby call this meeting to order, and we would like to begin with a roll call, please.
Mrs. Fulcher.
Here.
Mrs. Heaton.
Here.
Mr. Corbett.
I am here.
Mrs. Meyer and Mr. Schmidt are not with us this evening.
Thank you, Jackie. My fellow board members have before you an agenda for this evening's meeting. If you have had a chance to look at that and have no issues or additions, I will accept a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And then, thank you. Also in front of you, you have the minutes from our August 8th meeting. Again, if you do not see any necessary edits and no issues with that, I will accept a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. And we will begin the meaty part of the meeting tonight with our staff report from Erin. Hi, Erin.
Hi, good evening. So tonight's staff report is on our partner groups that we've invited to our partner group luncheon next week. So I thought I'd highlight those and kind of what their roles are. This is by no means an all-encompassing list of our partners. We have many partners in many different ways. These are just a few of the key ones that we've identified to highlight tonight. And also, as I go through, it's not the only ways that some of these partners might be involved, just some of the ways that were at the forefront of our mind. So when we talk about partner groups, this was an idea to highlight these partner groups that came from Park Board, to recognize and get to know these groups better that offer a service or program in coordination with our Parks, Recreation, and Culture Division. And a lot of times these groups help alleviate taxpayer resources by offering a program or activity that we might not be able to do or that otherwise we might be trying to do as the city. And they're different from our individual volunteers as they're, formal group that has their own volunteers and organizational structure, and they're not volunteering directly for us as some of our individuals who sign up to volunteer as a city volunteer are. So the ones on this list tonight include the Beavercreek Historical Society, the Beavercreek Youth Softball Association, Beavercreek Soccer Association, Beavercreek Sox, Beavercreek Community Athletic Association, Beavercreek Community Theater, the Popcorn Festival Committee, Greene County Public Library, and Feed the Creek. So to kick off our list, the Beavercreek Historical Society, they do historical programs at Wartinger Park with us. Their biggest one that you probably know is Living History, where they bring all the third graders in Beavercreek out and do historical education with them. They also partner with us on our Winter Welcome event. They help decorate a cabin as well as provide activities and refreshments at that event each year. And they do various other programs throughout the year, open houses, ice cream socials, educational events, and many of those are at Wartinger Park. They do some fundraising for cabin and barn improvements, and they look over kind of the well-being and maintaining the historical artifacts that are on site, on display in the barn and in the 4 historical homes there. And I'm happy to share this presentation afterwards for anyone who would like more information. Next is the Beavercreek Youth Softball Association, and many of you are familiar with them. Big group. They do co-ed youth recreational softball at Rotary Park. They have a complex of 4 diamonds, and they use some additional diamonds as well, and they prepare their own diamonds for their games and practices. They have usually about 1,400 players, and that's preschool age through high school. And in 2023, that was the 40th season of BYSA. They completed 651 games. So that's a big group, a big program, and we're so thankful for them. The Beavercreek Soccer Association offers recreational and competitive co-ed youth soccer. They offer several different opportunities on different leagues that they have, depending on what you're looking for and what your child's looking for. They host 2 major tournaments And the Ankeny Soccer Complex is where they participate and where they run all of their main games. They include their own private land as well as some city park land that's owned by the city. We are able to do our adult soccer league there, and they manage and maintain the entire property. The Beavercreek Sox, I found out, is the longest running community-based select baseball organization in the Miami Valley. So they started up in 1993, and as it says, they are select baseball. So they're competitive baseball, and they have teams from 8U and all the way through adults. So they play at Rotary Park, and we're certainly glad they're there. The Beavercreek Community Athletic Association, many people know them as BCAA. They are the area's oldest youth sports organization. They started in 1955. So they've been around a long time. Their home base is E.J. Nutter Park, and they offer recreational baseball. So Sox is the competitive group, and BCAA has recreational baseball, ages 5 to 18. Obviously, starting with T-ball and through coach pitch and all the way through regular old baseball. Kind of moving out of some of our athletic groups, we have the Beavercreek Community Theater. They offer youth and adult performances, and they are at the Charles and Anna Mae Lafino Adult Enrichment and Cultural Arts Center. This is better known as our Senior Center in Lafino Plaza. The Beavercreek Community Theater is also there. Please excuse my typo there. But the community theater, if you haven't been to see a show, it's really a community gem, and many people don't even realize that it's there. We are able to share space with them. We own the building, and they are essentially our tenants for very low rent, no rent. But we're so glad for what they provide for the community. The Beavercreek Popcorn Festival. You may have been there this past weekend. It was the 35th year of the Beavercreek Popcorn Festival, and one of our park board members, Sharon, was their honorary head colonel. So we are so excited about that. But big community festival. We do the 5K and the car show. We help them by hosting it in Shoup Park. And there is lots of coordination that happens between the Popcorn Festival as well as the Parks Department, our maintenance staff, the police, public service, streets and traffic and fire from Beavercreek Township. So there's a lot of community coordination that goes on to put on that community event. At the Greene County Public Library, of course, we have a branch here in Beavercreek. We do lots of different partnership together on various events and programs throughout the year. And these kind of change annually depending on what the library patrons have expressed interest in, as well as what our master plan and our participant surveys have shown. We have going on all the time tech tips at the Senior Center, so our members can go and bring their personal devices, and a librarian will be on site at the Senior Center on a regular basis to help them with accessing their email or their photos or whatever it might be with their devices. They're also an annual partner on our Winter Welcome at Wartinger Park event. And then, as I mentioned, various special, unique activities throughout the year. And then Feed the Creek. Feed the Creek is the weekend program, food program for children in Beavercreek, and helps feed hungry families through the whole community. They put up a few years ago, I think, started putting up little pantries in Beavercreek, and there are 23 of those now. And a few of them are at park sites or city sites. One's at the Senior Center, and one is at Fifth Third Gateway Park. They've also been a great partner with our summer camp scholarship program, making sure that we are able to offer food to families who might be attending camp on scholarship, who may not have access to be able to pack lunch for their children. So Feed the Creek has always been a group that we've been able to reach out to when we might need something, and they've been able to help a lot of people in the community, and we're really thankful to be part of that. Any questions about any of our relationships with those partner groups?
I don't think so.
Cool.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
So we'll move forward on to our division reports and Superintendent Farrell. Oh, wait a minute. Are you still superintendent? Do you have your new title yet? I know that's
Not yet.
coming. Okay.
Nah.
Never mind. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, thanks for that, buddy.
Superintendent Farrell.
Drop the bomb right there. That's cool. Good evening. Kim Farrell, Parks Department. But I am happy to present the division report. So we'll start with the senior center. This Friday, and again, it's supposed to be a gorgeous day, so come out to the senior center. It's that overflow parking lot just past the senior center. On Friday from 9 to 1, it is our annual garage sale. If you would like to set up a spot, call the senior center. There may be some booths available, but basically you set up your own booth for $20, sell what you want to sell. And then this is open to the public. So if you don't have anything to sell but you enjoy garage sales and you're looking for something special, that would be a great time to go. They also have their annual health fair coming up on Friday, October 6th. This will be inside the senior center. They do health screenings, flu shots. There's lots of information. Again, open to the public from 10 a.m. to noon. As we flip over to the recreation side, our fishing derby is starting up next week. This is going to run Tuesday to Tuesday. And we have, I don't want to call it a new format, but this has been in effect for the past few years. You have a week to go out to Dominic Lafino Park and fish. We ask that you send your photo to our email, which is parks@beavercreekohio.gov, and you have a chance to win a prize. So the lake is being stocked this week. Not going to tell you when, but that will happen. But come out, fish. If you don't catch anything, even if you send us a photo of your family fishing together, your kid fishing, trying to catch something, we do enjoy seeing the smiling faces, whether you're fishing or you actually caught a fish. But we really have some great prizes. Our staff did a phenomenal job calling around and getting some really cool stuff to put in the prize basket. And also want to thank IH Credit Union, ODNR, and the American Legion for helping to support this event by offering funds so we can stock the lake. And our perennial trade day is coming up in just a couple weeks on Saturday, September 3rd. At Rotary Park. If you have not heard of this, basically you bring 10 plants out and you get to bring 10 plants home. So where the trade comes into play. Leave one, take one. But preview starts at 9:30 and then the trading starts at 10 a.m. Always a fantastic time, always jam-packed, and a lot of different flowers, plants. I think they even started bringing in tools or gardening books, just different amenities aside from plants. So if you've been out there last year, come out again because there'll always be something different. And of course, a fan favorite, our Try a Truck event and fire department open house on Saturday, October 7th. You've got a little bit of time, but certainly mark your calendar now from 10 to 1. And it's right behind our municipal maintenance facility. A few years ago, we also started a sensory-friendly hour. Excuse me. So but that first hour, 10 to 11, there are no horns, there are no sirens, so kids can walk around. If you're just not that into the big loud noises, that's the perfect time to come. And then we do have some ear things. That's a technical term, for kids to put on if it does get too loud. But it's always a great time. You see the kids growing up and they're getting a picture taken in front of the equipment that we have out at the same time, and just kind of see how they're growing and how much bigger they're getting than the trucks. So that's always a fun time. And we want to thank Day Air Credit Union for helping to sponsor that. And we are going to have the trackless train again this year. So that's always fun too. As we flip over to our park side, back in August we had our ribbon cutting. So the park is officially open. Really excited that we were able to do that. So on a nice warm evening in August, we were able to do a ribbon cutting. And there's a trail system kind of leading through the woods. There's 3 different trail loops from 1.5 miles to 2.5 miles. But as you go through, there's like red, yellow, and green dots that you follow, depending on how long you want to walk. I will say, as you go through the woods, the temperature drops a good 5-10 degrees. But over this week, again, you're going to be looking at 70 to 80 degree weather, so perfect time to go out and explore the new park. Parking is available on the Patterson roadside. I say on the left-hand side, but that's where the park is. But there's a gravel drive. So, but if you don't want to park on that side and you're up on Shakertown, right across from Ankeny Middle School, it's just a grass lot. It's nothing fancy, but you're more than welcome to park up there. And so you can walk out and you can see, like, kind of hit where we're looking at for the overlook shelter, and just see all of Beavercreek. It's a gorgeous view. One of the other projects we have coming up this fall is a trail or a loop at Gershbacher Park. So our staff right now is just kind of cutting out the core of that arc, and then it will be an asphalt loop. And then at some point we'll get another loop through the woods a little bit. But 6 1/4 laps will equal 1 mile. So as your kids playing on the playground, you can kind of walk that lap, get your steps in, and still be able to keep an eye on your child. At Stafford Park, the Rotary Club is installing 100 yards of playground mulch coming up on Saturday. So we want to thank them, and like Aaron was talking about our partner groups, we've talked about our volunteer groups. There's a lot of this stuff that we could not do on our own, so we always want to thank our partner groups, and Rotary Club is new to volunteering with us this year. So thank you for coming out to Stafford and getting the playground safe for kids to play on. I'm happy to entertain any questions that you may have.
I do have a question. For the fishing derby, do you need to have your fishing license?
You do not. Kids do not need to have a fishing license to fish at any of our ponds.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I have a quick question, and you may have, or one of you may have shared this last year, the sensory-friendly period for the tri-truck. How successful was that, or what? I don't remember, and you may have shared that last time. Kind of response. To see.
I don't have a count of like how many kids in the first hour versus the other 2 hours, but there seems to be plenty of people who still come out, and we receive positive comments during that hour, which is really enough for us to say this is worth it.
100%. I wasn't necessarily looking for a number.
Yeah.
Numbers don't always mean everything, right? But just wondered if you felt like it was successful and well received. Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Anything else? Thank you. All right. It's just through pretty quick to volunteer opportunities. So what else is coming up that you could use some help with?
Sure. So Tri-Truck on October 7th. I need some help with that, if anyone's interested. Our senior center is always looking for volunteers, in particular with our transportation program. The demand for transportation only rises for our seniors, and especially as winter nears, some of our dear volunteer drivers and escorts for the transportation program find themselves in Florida for the winter. But we still have lots of people who need transported. So always looking for volunteer drivers and escorts. And then if you reach out to our office and you have a group who's looking for a volunteer opportunity, especially as the weather is a little cooler in the fall, maybe working outside isn't so terrible and hot, we've got plenty of projects in the parks. And as we continue to look at Springhouse Park, I know that we've talked about different scouts or individuals who might be looking for projects. There might be projects at Springhouse Park to complete as well. Not might be, there are.
Great. Thank you, Aaron. The other item we had on old business is our partner group luncheon. Aaron, your presentation on partner groups is certainly timely tonight, as we try as a park board and certainly as a staff to recognize partners and volunteers best we can, because the things that the staff is able to put on for the community wouldn't be possible and the recreational opportunities that the community has would not be possible without those groups. So next Wednesday, we are going to spend some lunchtime with several of the groups that Erin mentioned in her presentation. Twofold, really. One is to show some appreciation for those partnerships, and two, to better connect and network with those groups and kind of make sure we all know what everybody else is doing and look for opportunities to collaborate as we move forward. So looking forward to spending a little time with some folks that maybe we don't get to spend a whole lot of time with. So appreciate everything that the board has done to prepare for that, and we'll do next week. Anybody have anything to add to that? Okay, thank you. Don't really have any new business at this time that I'm aware of, unless somebody else has something. So let's we'll kind of no unscheduled visitors, action items. I think we have a few little things to be prepared for next Wednesday, but that's it at this point. So we'll move straight on into board time. Maybe we'll let the head colonel start us off over there. You know that you're never going to hear the end of that, Sharon.
I know that. I do know that. No, I just want to say thank you to those groups that have come out and helped, and even the volunteer groups that helped for the Popcorn Festival as well. Our scouts come out and worked really hard during that time. We couldn't do it without them, so yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Christina?
I'm going to piggyback on that because we can't function as a park system without volunteers. So that's become very, very clear over the last few years of me doing this. So, yeah, thank you for all the groups, individual and all the volunteers, individual and groups.
Awesome. Thank you, Christina. Yeah, two things I'll add quickly. One, we've mentioned Springhouse Park a couple times. I want to continue to keep that at the forefront as we've got some exciting things happening in that area, and we're really looking forward to being able to develop that in the near future. So pretty excited about that, and as Kim described, encourage people to get out, get on the park, really see the land. It's, I'd say, a little bit of a hidden treasure. You don't realize the changes in topography and the views that you can get unless you've been in that space. I've shared with friends, and they're like, "What hill? What hill are you talking about?" Yeah, because you can't see it until you get back in there. And then last but not least, as we were talking about partners, it might be a good time to mention John Ankeny, who passed away, I believe, Sunday, September the 3rd, I think. And Erin shared a few things about the Beavercreek Soccer Association. Many of us, some of us in this room, and certainly our community have had children that have been out on those fields playing in the BSA or with the Celtic organization, or in some manner impacted by that complex, when in fact you're also being impacted by the work that John has done in the community. So we all appreciate that effort, and his name will continue there in that space. I think that's all that I have. Last call. Anybody? Anything else? Then I will accept a mission. What's that called? Motion to adjourn.
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
And I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.